Sony files a censorship pattern to make PlayStation games playable for all ages. Sony's approach will allow players to customize what they see and hear, with the developers creating separate game versions. Surely, this is a good change. Surely, this is just gonna be a great mechanic for the actual creators. Nothing bad will ever happen with this. Sure thing. Sure thing, AI censorship, it's not something I want to say. But of course, it's gonna be used for that. After all, censorship has been a rampant problem, especially this past year. Sony has stepped up its push to future-proof PlayStation as it prepares for the next console generation. Recent system updates for the PlayStation 5 show incremental improvements. What about the games though? At the same time, Sony has begun testing technologies that could shape the PlayStation 6 era. One of the most striking developments comes from a newly filed patent focused on artificial intelligence and content censorship. The technology aims to make games adaptable to different audiences without changing their core design. I have a problem with this. I have a pretty obvious problem with this, because this is something we've seen for far too long. Without changing their core design. But the thing here is not what the audience says, it's what they actually make. That's always been the problem. We've seen this with games, even Japanese games, and other creations, I'd say. This was a big deal back when we were talking about, I think it was Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. It's been almost 2 years. I think that was February 2024, if I'm not mistaken. And they were mentioning, don't worry guys, we're not actually censoring anything. We're just censoring ourselves while making the game. And you're gonna tell me this is gonna fix that? No. What you see as the audience is never the problem. Well, it kinda is, right? Everything is related. But it's not because it's good for you. It's because you shouldn't be seeing that, okay? These people have determined that maybe this is a big no-no. So what is stopping them from doing so right now with this new technology? Not only that, but also, if I buy, let's say, PlayStation 6, how do they know I'm an adult? Do I need to dox myself? Why should I dox myself to Sony, of all people? It makes no sense. But if you see those clips from Klaus Schwab mentioning, well, you have to understand that going forward, privacy is gonna be no more. You need to get used to that. And I'm like, how about you shut your fucking mouth and get the hell out of here? If only it was that easy. But once again, I need to mention, okay, but isn't privacy one of those funny points in those things called the universal human rights? So much for those. Are we getting hot? Are we getting angry now? The best way to combat the cold. Baby, it's cold outside. From the Sony Interactive Entertainment on December 9th, the Battle Alliance an automated system that analyzes live game audio and video. Ooh, that's spicy. I wonder what's gonna happen with online games with this technology. Oh, you said another word. You're not allowed here anymore. On your Sony device, I mean. The processor then alters the content based on user-defined preferences. User-defined. Okay. That's not this bad, I suppose. Sony designed the tool to work across multiple platforms, including rival consoles. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Because you could use that to completely fuck over your competition. I wouldn't allow this if I was the competition, to be fair. AI-driven content filtering. The pattern describes AI models that scan gameplay in real time. Scary. The system identifies content that users want to censor. Gay. If you want to censor it, just don't play it, you fucking idiot. It's not for you. Just move on. Being applies filters without interrupting gameplay. There was also a clip on Twitter recently. It was from the XAI account, I think. I never brought that up, it's been like a couple of weeks. Out there making new ads, and they were showing like a clip of some sort of American sitcom. I'm not quite sure which one. I want to say it was Friends, but I'm not sure. And suddenly it becomes this cheering scene when the character stops before getting into a car to show you directly a can of coke. Not cocaine, if only. And like, oh, that looks so jarring. That looks out of Futurama. It was supposed to be a parody, man. Not like this. And that's kind of worrying, right? Because such a thing begs the question, at least to me, what's gonna happen with the artist's intent? What's gonna happen if you go to the movies, for example, and you suddenly see a bunch of, oh look, brand placement through AI? You're gonna be like, okay, but that's gonna create huge inconsistencies. If you talk to a friend that also watched the movie in a different place and they had different ads, you watch different movies. Ah, but the content's pretty much the same. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's the same as the narrative with localization. Oh, but they say the same thing. No. They could mean the same thing, but they're not the same thing. Not in this case. What a disaster. What a disaster. We need a current talk effect. We need to go back to monkey. According to the filing, artificial intelligence models are disclosed to customize audio-video content. This video game content based on user-provided content filtering parameters. I also wonder how much this is going to lag. If the only can mean offensive language, oh, not the offensive language, can blur height, gore, and nudity. This system may also remove scenes entirely. Ah, isn't that funny? In some cases, it can replace censored content with AI-generated alternatives. So you're playing different games. At this point, you're just playing different games. This design allows the second processor to handle the censorship work. That setup reduces strain on the main system. It also enables the AI to react quickly during gameplay. What am I looking at? Ah, look at this. We have a second processor for censorship. What? Oh my god. This looks like taking out from some sort of cyberpunk dystopia. But we never get the cool stuff. You're never gonna get the cool stuff. You're gonna be a serf for the technocrats. And you're gonna like it. And if you don't like it, that's a you problem. My goodness. This is dire. Look, I understand that you might find content that's objectable in media. You know what we do with that? You cope, and then you move on. If you find it egregious, that piece of work was not for you. Better luck next time. But sometimes, right, when they mention it here, gore and nudity, it's done with a purpose, right? Oh, look at this, it's so bad. Yes, of course it's bad, because it's meant to depict something that's bad. The same shit that we saw with Golden Slayer back in the day. Oh, look at this. Look at the first episode. Oh, it's so graphic. It's all about the struggle to snuggle. And I'm like, okay, but if they want to show you that the goblins are some of the worst creatures to walk around in this series, of course they're gonna commit the worst crimes. How is this? How is this something new? How do we not understand this? It's insane. And of course it's insane. Because for these deranged people, showing something means you work with something instead of being, okay, no, I'm showing you the inhuman monsters are being human. Hello? Built for customization, sure thing, pal. The pattern places strong emphasis on user control. Players can set their own content parameters. Decisions determine what the AI filters or replaces. I mean, in the beginning, you will know, in the moment at least, if Sony is changing stuff that they find objectable. Ah, they will never do that. I mean, there's no reason for that, unless they are politically driven. And I do feel that most of these companies are, so we'll see. The system alerts players before sensitive content appears. Oh, look, a big no-no! What about the shock factor? Jesus Christ. People are being so pampered, it's depressing. You also notify it during playback. You can choose whether to remove the material or replace it. Sony describes the technology as flexible, players can adjust preferences at any time. I'm not against mods or anything like that, but this just seems like just censorship for the sake of it. Oh, God forbid we show something being too real. I don't know. Maybe you will finally understand the crimes that are being committed in real life. And maybe you will open your eyes and be like, holy moly, what's going on here? Yes, it's a reference to the UK. But not only the UK. Sony announced that the system works across the most major computing ecosystems. That compatibility opens the door for adoption beyond PlayStation hardware. The technology could reshape how developers approach content ratings. Don't think it's developers here, but I suppose so. AAA titles may allow optional censorship layers instead of separate builds. That shift could expand their audience reach. Separate builds, Lumao! This hasn't happened in a long time. If it has to be censored, everything is getting censored. Everyone is getting censored. And you're gonna like it. But China doesn't like this. You know what? It's not China. Since China doesn't like it, nobody likes it. So censor for everyone. Enjoy. Enjoy the slap. The system will not target average adult players. Lumao. We'll see about that. Instead it focuses on parents, younger audiences, and content creators. I hate to say this, but I can see a use case for content creators here. Younger audiences? That seems, as usual, a parenting issue. If you're a parent and you have like a 14-year-old, why are you buying them an 18 plus rated game? Maybe you shouldn't. It's right there, it's in the box. It shouldn't be this difficult. Streamers could avoid the monetization risk without disabling gameplay entirely. That's also saying a lot about the monetization. But I can see the use case. I guess. Yes, with heavy adult themes, may still pose challenges. If the game has heavy adult themes and you want to censor it, you will have nothing or a completely different game. Age rating, despite being draconian in recent times, it's really useful. If you have a game like GTA 6, just like they mention here, that rely heavily on mature content, it's probably gonna be 18 plus, for obvious reasons. Why you, as a parent, are buying such a game to your young teenager, as I mentioned before, let's say 14? You shouldn't. You're a trash parent. You need the government to parent for you. You need these tech companies to parent for you. You don't hate these parents enough. You don't hate them enough. And sure, these companies sometimes are deranged. But you don't hate these parents enough, because it's thanks to these parents being absolute trash, completely useless parents, that we are in this predicament. Are you brave enough to hate them? It's not that the age rating in the game box it's hidden. I could pick one of my 20 boxes I have of games near me and be like, okay, what's the age rating on this? And I can tell you exactly what. You know what? I'm gonna pick something from PC. I'm gonna pick Devil May Cry 3. And it says, oh jeez, I bought this for $3 back in the day, Lumel. It's secondhand. It says 16 plus because violence. Wow, that's cool. Oh, so it's on the front. It says 16 plus. How do I know this? But parents don't, because parents don't give a fuck about kids anymore. That's the current state. That's the current state. If you're just gonna have kids for the sake of it, I cannot believe I'm saying this. Stop having kids. Okay, stop having kids. And I don't think having kids is important. But if you're gonna act like an absolute clown, stop it. You're just a headache. And that's exactly what I was saying, is that extensive filtering could significantly alter the experience. Wow, shocking. Why is the young people playing GTA 6? No clue. Even so, Sony appears focused on accessibility rather than restriction. Parent signals an effort to make more games playable across age groups. Also suggest a broader role for AI in console level moderation. Sony has not confirmed when or if the technology will reach consumers. Buttons of still remain experimental. Still, the filing offers a clearer look at how Sony envisions AI shaping future gaming experiences. And only now I just realized what all of this is about. Only now I just realized what all of this is about. An effort to make more games playable across age groups. This is just a big attempt from Sony to try and get more sales from games. I don't understand how it took me so long to realize. And of course it is, because they're not selling enough. So they have to do the Dan Clancy special. Maybe we need to, despite being against the rules, we need to keep appealing to younger and younger people to get into our site or get into our games. Look, if Twitch is 13 plus, it has to be 13 plus. When you have the CEO mentioning younger people like 8 or 9 that we can get from places like TikTok, that's not a good deal. And when you have these game companies saying, well, you know what, maybe we should be selling these 18 plus rated games to younger generations, that's also not good. Yeah, quite literally breaking the law. Well, breaking the rules, I should say. I don't know if it's actually the law. To some extent, I'm pretty sure it is.